Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to deal with a part 2 speaking topic of the current season. This topic is going to be used until August 2021. So if you're going to take your IELTS exam before August 2021, this video is for you. So the topic is, describe an occasion when you were standing in line. Okay, so here are the bullet points. Describe an occasion when you were standing in line. You should say when it was, where it was, why you were there, and how you felt about it. All right. So first of all, let's learn some vocabulary that can be used to describe standing in a line or in a queue and feeling bored. So when you feel bored, you can say to be bored to death, or to be dying of boredom, to be bored to tears, or to be bored witless. Then you can also say to bore the pants off of somebody, like this boring lecture bore the pants off of me. Okay, or you can say it is or it was about as exciting as watching paint dry. So it was very boring. Or you can say I was out of my mind with boredom. So you can use 2 or 3 of these expressions to describe how bored you felt. Okay. Then when you're talking about standing in the line, well, first of all, there are 2 words. A queue, it's more British, and a line, that's more American. So you can say to queue for something, or to line up. It's when a line of people are standing and waiting for something. To stand in line, or serpentine queue, that's a nice collocation for the word queue. Okay, now about ideas, what can you say? Now, when was it? You can say it must have been around some time ago, maybe a fortnight ago. Fortnight means 2 weeks. Or you can say, if my memory serves me right, it happened, and you say when it happened. As far as I remember, it was a couple of months ago. It happened just a while ago, quite recently, something like this. Then, where were you? And you can describe where you were waiting for something. I was standing in a serpentine queue. I was standing in line at the cash point or at the ATM, in line at the cash desk, or in the checkout line at the supermarket, or in a queue at the check-in desk at the airport, in a line of people waiting for a concert, or in a line outside some kind of a building, maybe a religious building such as a church, a temple, a mosque, a synagogue, and so on. Okay, so you just choose a place, and then you can also say why you were there. I was waiting for my turn to be served. I was waiting to enter some kind of a building like a museum, an art gallery. It was the sales period, so I wanted to buy some kind of product at a big discount, or I had to collect my parcel order, luggage, swab test, documents, or whatever. Now, how did you feel? Well, probably you didn't feel very well because you were kept waiting. So maybe you can say that you were very angry, and you can say I was furious. Or there's another expression for being very angry is I was livid with wrath. So you can say that a lot of people standing around me, standing in the queue with me, were livid with wrath. Okay. You can also say I was annoyed or I was irritated. All right. So here's a cue card, and I'll try to give you a Band 9 sample answer. So an occasion when you were standing in line. Okay, so I've been asked to talk about a situation when I spent some time queuing, and the occasion, which I can't help telling you about, was when I spent a whopping 3 hours waiting for my turn to be served at a local supermarket. So without further ado, let me start the ball rolling. This must have been around a year ago when I was in the Philippines. It was at this time that the first lockdown due to COVID-19 was announced. And hardly had President Duterte made his famous speech about possible future quarantine when all the Filipinos started buying as much food as possible. So, as you might have already imagined, this resulted in enormous serpentine queues inside and outside supermarkets, and all the customers ended up waiting for hours to be able to buy the food and goods which they needed. It is also worth mentioning that I can't stand queuing as such, because it's nothing more than a waste of time. Having said that, this is something that I experience every time when I go to the supermarket. This happens for the simple reason that whenever I might go there, there is always something that causes a delay at the cash desk. However, it is very rare that I have to wait for more than 10 or 15 minutes. But on that occasion, this was obviously not the case. I remember I was hungry as a bear on that day, and all I wanted to do was to get home and cook dinner. But my plans went south. What made matters worse was the fact that people were packed like sardines, and not only did we have to spend a lot of time waiting in the queue, but it was also possible to be infected with COVID-19 or other contagious diseases. So, to cut a long story short, having spent 2 or 3 hours at the queue, I returned home starving and exhausted. Okay, so, well, thank you guys for watching this video. Please, if you like it, put thumbs up, put likes, and subscribe to the channel if you still haven't. And I would like to hear your commentaries if you find this video useful and if you find these expressions useful also. Okay, thank you and see you in the next video.